Hello, hello, everybody. How is it going? Welcome. We are live. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a great new year. 2024 is our year. Let's do this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live. If you're having issues with hearing, please make sure your speakers are unmuted. We don't have any telephone dial-in for today's event. All right, let's get a move on here. As you guys always know, Leah here, your hostess with the mostest? No, I'm just kidding. Super glad to be here, guys. Thanks again for joining us. I know your time is super valuable. I love that you guys are here. We are going to be here for 1 hour. I'm Leah, as always. I'm your host for today. Not much has changed. I've been with the company for 12 years now. Just recently had an anniversary. So another year, another day. We're still here doing the thing. So still living in Tucson. That hasn't changed either. Probably never will. Moving right along, navigating our webinar platform. If you guys have been around for a while, you guys know the drill. Access to Q&A. If you guys have questions regarding today's content, please make sure to join us in the Q&A section so we can answer. Our handout will be throughout the slides. There's a link available, www.intuit.me/ITK handout FEB24 February 2024. And you'll find the Q&A at the bottom of your control panel at the bottom. Just an FYI, chat will not be available, raise hand will not be available, just your Q&A. Welcoming you guys in is our job. We'll talk a little bit about CPE eligibility information, and then we're going to talk about today's objectives, learning objectives. Got some cool stuff to show you guys. We'll go ahead and go through our presenters, and then I will close out with resources and call it a day. Again, today is only 60 minutes. Just a quick housekeeping on the questions and the feedback. We love to hear what you guys have to say. So please, if you have feedback regarding the stuff that we're talking about, please let us know. We would love to get your guys' feedback on that. So use Q&A for questions and feedback of your Zoom panel. Please don't use the chat button. It should be disabled. We ask that you please only submit questions that are related to today's content. We're going to cover a few things today. There's a lot of you and just a few of us, and we're going to do our very best to get to all the questions that we possibly can today, but we will not be able to get to anything that is not regarding today's content. So just a heads up, if we miss you or skip your question, it's not because we don't love you. We got a lot of questions that we're going to go through. And then questions not answered during webinar will be in the FAQ. And as always, if you have technical problems with our product, meaning it is not working as designed, you're receiving an error code or something is not working properly, please work with our technical support team. That'll be the fastest way to fix your issues at 888-333-3451. Again, if you are a pro advisor and you're having technical difficulties, whether it's a client file or your own personal file, please contact our technical support team at 888-333-3451. And I believe that phone number will also be on your slide number 6. So I double checked this time. PDF and my slides should be exactly the same. All right. Really quick CPE process. So in order to receive CPE, we do offer it every In the Know webinar. And if you guys are interested in getting credit, please make sure that you are here present for the minimum of 50 minutes to get that 1 credit. And we ask that you please answer all polling questions. I promise you there will be plenty go around. So make sure you are paying attention and you're here. If all or part of the requirements are met, your CPE will be emailed within 2 weeks. Following the close of today's webinar to the email address you registered with. And so just a reminder for everybody, if you're new, it is going to be coming from accountant_training@intuit.com to your approved contacts, because that's where it's coming from. So make sure that you guys have that available so it doesn't go into like your clutter or your junk. I think that's happened to me a couple of times. Random stuff happens to just fall in clutter or junk. So that's where it's coming from. Again, if that was too fast, please review slide number 7 at your PDF handout that we've been providing you guys the link for. All right, We've got some cool stuff that we want to talk about today. We're going to be learning all about forecasting in QuickBooks Online. It's super exciting. We're also going to talk about the revenue recognition that's available in QuickBooks Online Advanced, as well as discovering the new QuickBooks Time Setup experience. So those are today's topics. Again, if you guys need the handout, it is www.intuit.me/ITK handout FEB24, February 2024. I feel so rusty. It's only been a month, and I feel like this is like a rusty got to get back into the groove of things. Before we get to our first guest, I do have some just quick highlight. It's one highlight that I want to share with you guys really quickly, and that is the 1040 direct data import. So what we heard, tax accountants need a way to quickly onboard some new clients, begin working on their tax clients right away. No need for manual data, right? We don't want that. That takes time, which is time consuming. It's susceptible to errors as well. I don't know about you, but I fat finger stuff all the time. So what did we do? There's an ability to create a new client by importing their prior tax year return, ability to extract client data and values from the first 2 pages of their 1040, including taxpayer name, address, deduction information, dependent data, bank information, over 60 summary values. Ability to start a new client tax return with the year-over-year comparisons within minutes. So who does this apply to, Leah? This applies to ProConnect tax customers. And from what I am seeing, being told, it is coming very soon. Please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to share this with you guys. It's coming very soon, and it's accessed via the Create Tax Return on the Tax Hub or the Add Client on the Clients tab. If you guys have additional questions regarding this particular piece of information, please go to the overview video. Please check out the overview video that's on slide 10 on the bottom right-hand side of this slide. Thank you guys for your time. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Pavani, who is going to talk about forecasting in QuickBooks Online. So, my dear, if you are there, if you can introduce yourself, share your screen, let us know who you are.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I am Pavni. I'm a product manager with QuickBooks Planning team. I've been with Intuit for about 2.5 years. I'm based out of Bangalore, India, and I'm super excited to talk about the latest addition to QuickBooks Online Advanced. And like it's already mentioned, the first feature we'll talk about is forecasting. So before we begin, let's do a quick poll to understand the current practices around forecasting. So do you generate financial statement forecasts, including profit and loss, balance sheet, and statement of cash flow for your clients? Is it a regular occurrence for you, or do you never do this for your clients, or do you only do it sometimes, or this is something it's not applicable for your clients? Please share your answers in the poll.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've got about 40 seconds before we close this poll out. We usually keep polls open for about a minute. So I'm curious. I have a sneaking suspicion I know what the answer is going to be for some people, or maybe the majority of the folks on this call. But I'd be curious if there's a lot of people who put never or rarely.
Yeah, let's see how the answers are going to be.
Yeah. We got about 10 seconds, folks. We're at the minute mark here. In about 10 seconds, we're going to close this poll out, and then we're going to share with you the results and see how this is going to help us with your presentation. Yeah, just as I suspected, the majority, always and sometimes. I had a feeling, sneaking suspicion.
Yes. So that sets a really good context for what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes. So I'm here to talk about the latest edition of profit and loss forecast. So when we have interacted with business owners and accountants, what we've realized is that they generate their expenses and revenue forecast outside of QuickBooks today because there's no way they can do it in QuickBooks easily. So this is something they do it primarily in spreadsheets by exporting data out of QuickBooks because QuickBooks has the latest actuals information. So in order to tackle this challenge, what we've done is we've built a feature to create profit and loss forecasts up to 3 financial years. So users can now create profit and loss forecasts right in QuickBooks using their last year's historical actuals data. Additionally, they can also use average of these actuals, be it actual average of last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months. And there is a easy way to even apply increase or decrease percentages to these forecast at account type level. And if you're sure about the forecast at the start of the financial year, you can also create this into a budget. So I'll do a quick demo on how that works. So how you can access them is this is available for all QuickBooks Online Advanced customers today. It has been released in mid-December. And let me show you how this feature looks like in the product. So in QuickBooks Online Advanced, this can be accessed through the financial planning on the left navigation menu, and it is available right above budgets. So for the first time users, we show the benefits of forecasting right here before they create their initial forecast. So it's a very guided way to set up their first forecast. So if you look at the setup forecast page, users can create their profit and loss statement forecast, and we have the flexibility to create forecasts for up to 3 financial years. We have three options here. One is the rest of the financial year starting from the current month. The second is up to financial year, what we see in the screen here. And we also have up to 3 financial years. If there's a business need to create forecast up to 3 financial years, you can do so using this option. And we have two ways to generate your forecast. One is using your last year's actuals as a source. That is, if you want to maybe use your last year's actuals as a starting point for forecast, you can choose the option of actuals from last financial year. The second option we have is average of actuals. If you want to create a forecast using average of last 12 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, you can change these options from this use actuals from option. In this example, I've kept it as last 12 months. Additionally, you can also add increase or decrease rules for the key account types, such as income, COGS, expense, other income, and other expenses accounts of P&L statement. You can choose any percentage here. I've used 10% for an example. And if you notice to the right, there is a quick summary of how you have set up your forecast. It talks about the different methods you have used to set up your forecast. And once you're ready with your forecast and click on next, you can review the forecast right here, wherein you can edit the rules you have set up in the initial setup screen. You can modify them by adding new rules or deleting them. And you can also additionally modify these forecast numbers as per your business need. If you want to maybe edit for one of the months or for one of the accounts, you can easily do so from this forecast view we see here. And other key benefits we offer in this forecast is, once you are ready with your forecast, you can quickly create this into a budget by clicking on this, make this a budget. You can choose the budgeting period. Since the forecast can be created up to 3 financial years, you can choose the financial year for which you want to create the budget for and make this a budget with one click. That's the key differentiator we're providing in this functionality. And there are other two additional functionalities we have here. One is, let's assume you have transactions that are added in the past. Let's assume we created this forecast in February, and transactions of January have been added to QuickBooks Online. And if your forecast needs to reflect the latest data, you can do so by selecting this refresh actuals options we see at the top right. And each time you click on this, there will be a confirmation message being asked to confirm whether you want the actuals to be refreshed as per the latest information present in QuickBooks Online, so that your forecast is always up to date. And second one is, if you want to clear data of any particular account, let's say you want to clear the generated forecast and you want to input your forecast manually, you can do so by using the batch actions, wherein you can select multiple options at once and clear data using the batch actions. These are the two ways you can modify your forecast after you create your first forecast. And once you review all the numbers and your modifications are done, you can save the forecast, and all your saved forecasts are hosted under this forecast tab. You can create multiple forecasts by using this create forecast option we see right here. You can also review it later again for future reference. If you want to review a forecast every month or every quarter, you can review this forecast and you can create additional forecasts for different scenarios you have for the business need. In summary, the QuickBooks profit and loss forecast we provide would let the users to flexibly create the forecast, and it will help you take business decisions efficiently. So right now we have the profit and loss based forecast using two key methods. One is using actuals from last financial year. The other one is average of last year using three months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. And the other key differentiator is you can easily create your forecasts and convert them into budgets, and those budgets are can be seen in this budget section, which is already present in the solution. So this is a quick demo of how the profit and loss forecast works in QuickBooks Online Advanced. This is currently live for all US customers. Before we proceed, I have a whole question for you all to understand if there are other needs from your clients. Do you create forecasts at the classes, locations, or customers level? Is it something you do always or only sometimes because there's not much of a necessity for your clients? Or is it something none of your clients currently ask you to help with?
Yes, thank you. And please feel free to add some context to your answer if you'd like, totally optional, in the Q&A section for us to get a better understanding. Obviously, there's no right or wrong answer. So if you choose the wrong one, you'll still get your CPE. But I would imagine those that are not applicable to this, they're just not running forecasts. So totally makes sense on that regard. But got about 15 seconds, folks. If you would like CPE, please be sure to answer this polling question. And we're going to be closing it out very shortly here, a few seconds shortly. And I would assume, Pavani, that this is more so around what we want to kind of unlock next from a product perspective.
That's the right one, yes. So we want to understand the needs from the accountants based on their interactions with their clients.
Makes total sense. And we get a majority of sometimes.
Yes.
Hopefully that's helpful for you.
Some need from customers. So let's move to the next question. So we do have another question in the context of forecasting. Do you utilize scenario-based analysis, or sometimes it's called what-if analysis, in making decisions for your clients? Is that something you have you've done in the past for your clients?
All right, folks, I told you we'd have plenty of poll questions today, so make sure you get those answers submitted so you can get your, oh my God, why am I blanking? CPE. Whew. Telling you guys, taking a month off, bad idea. 30 seconds, guys, we're gonna be closing it out. This makes total sense. Utilizing scenario-based analysis in making decisions for you or your clients. It's not just one or the other. I like that. And what are you trying to achieve with this particular question? Just curious.
So we want to understand the need for this, because this is also something we are trying to explore in the space of forecasting. So we really want to understand what is the need here.
Heck yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, guys, we closed out our third poll of the day so far. And it looks like we're, again, at sometimes majority vote.
Yes, we do see a need on this from our accountants community. That's great. So we can open up the floor for any questions from the forum.
Beautiful. We do have quite a few questions I want to just confirm. And so thank you again for an awesome presentation. I'm super excited about forecasting. Just a couple of logistical questions. Number one, what version is this available again in? Is it only QuickBooks Online Advanced?
Only advanced.
Only advanced. Okay. Is there any thought around possibly opening this up to other versions?
We are still exploring that. So right now it's only advanced. So in case it's extended to plus, we'll keep you posted on that.
Sure. Just curious if y'all were thinking about it. Then the other question is for those that are currently using advanced, who has access to it currently? Is it everybody using advanced or only new subscriptions?
It's everybody. If the question is on roles, all admins and standard all users can access it, but anyone who has an active advanced subscription can access this feature.
All right, you guys heard it from her first. If you guys are on QuickBooks Online Advanced or your client is on Advanced, then this is already available for any admin or standard all access users. Okay, cool, perfect. Awesome. All right, this question comes up every time. We know that this is US only probably. Is there any thought of putting it in Canada?
Yes, we do have plans to take it to Canada.
Okay.
And,
obviously, we know timelines change a lot, but if it's in the works and they're working on it, you guys are planning, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. A couple questions around functionality. Is the forecasting based on cash basis or accrual basis?
Right now, it is based on the settings of the company. If the company settings is default to cash, the forecast also uses the cash basis.
Okay, so it's dependent on the settings in your QBO file.
Yes.
Perfect. And then once I've created the forecast, can I export to Excel?
Right now, we do not have export, but we are working on it. So we should have that soon.
Okay, perfect. And then also in the past, we've had like issues with accountants accessing certain things in clients' files. So the question was, can this be used at the accountant level in a client's file? So if I'm a firm accessing a client through QBOA, QuickBooks Online Accountant, will I have access to this tool?
Yes, you should have access to this.
Woo! Perfect. I love that. There was another question I just skimmed and I saw really quick. I got to find it again. Hang on one second. Got a lot of folks saying classes, please, and thank you. Lots of good feedback I see here in the Q&A. What about the advanced file, your books in QuickBooks Online Accountant? Is that forecasting available in there too?
Could you repeat that? I didn't understand that.
So in QuickBooks Online Accountant, you get a free QuickBooks Online Advanced file. It's called Your Books.
Okay.
Is the forecasting feature built in there? Because some features are not available in that Your Books. So we're just wanting to confirm if it's available in the Your Books.
I'm not sure about that. We can check in, in the FAQ section once we have confirmation.
Oh, sure. No problem at all. No problem at all. I appreciate you checking. I thought I had it and I lost it. Lots of folks asking for a plus too. Hey, can you please give this to our plus clients as well? Awesome. I think those are all the questions I can see in the moment. I'm sure there's probably some that I have skipped. We really appreciate you being here today. If you have an opportunity to hang around and answer questions I may have missed in the chat, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you again for your awesome presentation on forecasting.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Lakeith. If you are ready, go ahead and share your screen, introduce yourself, and let us know what you've got for us today.
Sure. Hello, everybody. So let us talk about revenue recognition on QuickBooks Advanced. This is also an advanced only feature like the forecast, which was discussed earlier. Oops. Okay. So I'm Likith. I'm the senior product manager on the QuickBooks Advanced team, and my team primarily focuses on the complex accounting features like revenue recognition, fixed assets, and a lot more exciting ones that we'll be launching over the next few months. And I'm here, and I'm based out of Mountain View. And I want to start this off with a poll question to understand like how you came to know about revenue recognition on QuickBooks Advanced. So is it through some search? Is it through a friend, or maybe a social media channel, or while you were actually working on the product, or maybe you never know about this feature at all on QuickBooks?
Oh, I really like this question. I'm liking the answers that we're getting to, because this will be a great opportunity to speak about it today. Folks, we got about 30 seconds left before we close out this poll. I'm curious, were you expecting an answer? Like, were you expecting people to say from social media?
I have an expectation, but I don't want to influence the
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll talk about that in a second. We got about 10 seconds, folks. I'm actually quite surprised. Here. We're going to share the results in just a second. I know it's hard. I really want to tell y'all. But not a lot of folks know about this feature until you mentioned it today. So great opportunity to talk about it. But what were your thoughts or expectations on this poll?
Yeah, I was expecting a lot of customers to know through the product, but anyway, it's always good to know information. So considering this, right, I would move a little bit in a different direction. Just do a quick intro on revenue recognition first, and then move on to my plans today.
Perfect.
So we did launch revenue recognition on Advanced last year, and we do this is ASC 606 principle, which we launched last year, but we do support only the subscription-based businesses as of last year. So which means you are a simple business, have a subscription with a ratable schedule running for 12 months, then we automate all your transactions for you. On top of it, we also provide granular reporting if you're a SaaS business or a subscription business. So this was launched last year, and we got a lot of feedback through the product. And the biggest feedback that we received was, hey, this is great, but things do not happen as expected in most cases, and my business is slightly different. So with that VOC, and that after hearing all of that from customers, we started to explore more customization options, and that is what we launched over the last year. And I want to go into a little bit more details. If you are using revenue recognition today, we did launch these customization features as of December, and some of these are, you can actually pick a certain service date. You can pick any item on an invoice. You can void an invoice. You can adjust the price as things are moving. You can setting the duration to a customizable one, pausing schedule, closing schedule. These are all some of the customizations that we launched, and this is not an exhaustive list. In the next few months, we'll be launching more customizations. This will let you send a revenue recognition invoice irrespective of what your business need is. And I want to show some of these scenarios where this can help you. So in this example, this lawn mowing service was scheduled for 12 months, and all the $1,200 is in the deferred revenue, and we are automating those transactions moving from 1 month to another. Having said that, in the middle, the customer negotiated with you, and maybe you want to extend the service. Maybe you are throwing in 1 year free because customer is not happy, or the pricing was not right, whatever that situation is. In this case, we do allow updating the service duration. And as you can see, once the service duration is updated, we auto balance the rest of the schedule. So we make sure that we honor your existing posted entries, and we only adjust the open entries. Of course, you can change the posted entries if your books are open, but we auto adjust only the open entries. Similarly, if you're on a similar schedule and you are a project-based company. So a construction company, typically, they get a lot of work that being done in a certain month because maybe there is more employees or workers coming in, or maybe there is more material that is coming in, you get to do more work. In that situation, if you can observe here in month 3, we recognize $250 as opposed to typical $40 that was planned to be. So in this case, again, we auto adjust for the rest of the months because you did a lot of work during this month. And we also provide you the ability to turn off the auto balance, because for project-based companies, we do not know, most of the things do not go as per plan. Things change on the ground. So you have full control on how you want to execute the schedule and when you want to defer and recognize the revenue. On a very similar lines, maybe the price changed. There was a negotiation happened. Maybe the customer liked it and they want to increase the quantity of the product, right? In this case, when you're sending an updated invoice, we also update the price, and that reflects in the schedule as well. In all these scenarios, we follow a similar method where we only update the open entries. You do have a chance to adjust the closed entries too, of course, if your books are open. And finally, this was one of the most requested features from our customers, is to issue a credit memo or refund, again, because things do not go as per plan. Maybe the customer is unhappy. So what we did was we launched this customization feature so that you can actually close out the schedule. In this case, your revenue is happening over a period of 12 months, 24 months, or whatever your schedule is. But when the customer requests for a credit, you don't want that to happen over a period of a year or more. So you may want to close out that schedule today and then issue a credit memo so that you don't have these entries posting month over month, even after the transaction is closed. So you can go recognize everything in the current month, close the schedule, and move on. We're also planning to make this easier for you with one click. We'll be providing with a complete schedule button in the next couple of months, which will make this thing easier. And as soon as you do that, you can issue a credit memo or a refund receipt. And finally, we do have a revenue recognition report, which is available from almost like 6-7 months. And this can be customized now. So as you can see, you have lots and lots of data here, and in a very granular level. Maybe you like this. Maybe you want to group certain things like product, or maybe by invoices, or by customer. In this case, what you can do is you can save this invoice as a by customer report, or a by product report, or revenue recognition by invoice report, so that this fits into your needs and you can view as you like it. And of course, you can also export into the Excel. So one last thing that I want to call out is we did all the improvements that we've done for the revenue recognition over the last few months are completely through the feedback that we received through our product, which is within the product. So we do read all the feedback and we do heavily rely on this. So if you do have any feedback or you're testing and you're stuck somewhere, please do provide it, which will help us to improve the product in a way that you would like to. So, and finally, as I mentioned, we launched it last year. We made some customization improvements. We are moving further to improve this product. So I would love to know how you want us to improve. Whether you want more flexibility with non-service items, templates, percentage, and milestones, or maybe you want this exactly in the project level. Maybe you also want automatic recognition with drivers like project progress and cost basis. Do you want to support unbilled revenue? Or maybe you want to autofill the whole invoice with the contract terms into deferred transactions. So this would help us to focus on our next improvements.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Guys, we got about 20 seconds left before we close out this poll. If you did select none of the above and you have some thoughts around what else you could share with us, please do so in the Q&A. We'd love to get your guys' feedback and understanding of the needs from you guys. We hear it from you right from the direct source, so super important. Awesome. We are over a minute now. And it does look like if we were to take away none of the above, increase the flexibility by supporting non-service items, custom recognition, templates, etc.
Thank you. This is helpful.
You got a lot
let's move on to the Q&A. Yep, definitely. This is definitely a large feature, right? Okay, so it's a big accounting principle. There's a lot more to do in this, and we are looking forward to solving this for you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing all of this helpful information. Love the improvements. Super great. We'll start with the easy questions and then we'll move into the more complex ones. Can you just remind folks, this is only available in QuickBooks Online Advanced?
That is correct. As of now, we do not have any plans to support this in the lower SKUs, but if that changes, we will definitely let you all know.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for letting us know. And for those that are listening in, again, advanced only. If you have feedback around that, please feel free to give us that feedback and why. Okay, the other question I had is some folks are saying that, like, how do I see revenue recognition? Do you need to turn it on before you can actually start to use it in the product?
Yes, so there is an option in the global settings to turn this on. In this deck or the handout that you have, we actually linked you to the help article, and that's where you can have all the instructions. We also have a new video that uploaded literally yesterday with all the new features. So that will help you to guide through the process. And
Perfect.
Over time, we want to auto-enable for you for customers who actually want it. But for now, you have to go in and enable.
All right, so if you've got a client using advanced and you want to turn revenue recognition on, slide 23 should have the help article on there, and we'll walk you through those steps. Perfect. Thank you so much. Awesome. The other question I had for you was, would this feature work in lieu of a work in progress spreadsheet or WIP spreadsheet? Do you know?
So we did hear about this. If I'm understanding this correctly, you already have revenue recognition in an existing spreadsheet which you're using today, and you are in the middle of it. And when you're starting fresh with QuickBooks Advanced, you want to see how you can pick those existing ones and bring it to QuickBooks. So we are working on something like that because it's kind of a hybrid solution. So we are working on something like that, but they do not have a clear timeline on that yet.
As long as you guys are working on it, right? For those customers that have been around for a long time, we know when it comes to online stuff, we start small and we work our way into bigger, better things. So I love that. Will revenue recognition now prorate a given month when the service start date is mid-month instead of splitting into 12 exact months?
Yes. So in the global settings, you should have two options. One is monthly. Most of our customers want that, so we defaulted it to monthly, which spreads out evenly. But if you do want to prorate, you need to pick daily option, and any invoice that you send after the change will prorate on a daily basis.
Okay, so go to your global settings, change it to daily. Makes total sense. Can the revenue recognition be edited at the customer/item level, as one item can be used across different customers and some may require change?
Yeah, so I do understand the need. So we have a default that is being set today on the item. And when you are sending an invoice, you can use the edit feature that we discussed today, and you can edit it. So example one, for one customer, you're selling for 12 months, but the other customer, you are selling for 14 months. You can make that change on the invoice and you can send it to them.
Okay, that makes sense. And then we have, can you view the report on future subscriptions? I'm not sure.
So there are two parts to the question. In this particular report, you can see the future recognitions. Example, what is your projected revenue that you're going to recognize over the next few months? You will be able to see it. There's also another question that our customers might ask, whether you can actually view that revenue in the P&L for the future. So that is something that we are working on, and we will support that soon.
Okay, I got you. Thank you so much for that. And then final question, I know I've been drilling you. Final question, does this feature do expense recognition, prepaid expenses too, or did I miss that?
No, so this is one of our most requested features. We are planning to work on it. As we solve the revenue recognition, this goes hand in hand. We understand that, and we will have an update on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lakith. I really appreciate you spending the time on this forecasting, revenue recognition. Again, month off. Whew. Thank you so much. If you have an opportunity to hang in the background and answer the questions that I missed, I would love that. But we appreciate you being here today.
Sure.
Thank you so much. All right,
Thank
we
you.
have our final presenter. We got Venki, who is going to talk to us about the new QuickBooks Time experience setup. So, Venki, whenever you are ready, please take it away.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's nice to be in this meeting. So I'll quickly introduce myself before I go into my topic. So I'm Venki. I work in QuickBooks Workforce Solutions, which means payroll and time. Those are the products I handle. I've been with Intuit for 3 years, and I'm joining from Mountain View in California. With that, let me launch a quick poll before I get into the depths. So what was your experience like setting up QuickBooks Time for your clients? Any opinion that you had, if you remember how you did it?
All right, guys. So again, like I said, lots of poll questions this session, so there should be no question about polls. But if you can get your questions, your answer submitted here, we got about 30 seconds left. I'm curious, for those that have had good, bad, decent experiences, please provide some feedback for us in the Q&A and let us know what made it good, bad, or decent. And for those that have never done it, do you have clients that need QB time? Do you not work with clients who don't need QB time? So if you guys can just provide with us some more information, that'd be super, super helpful, but we are almost up at our minute. Venki, I'm curious, are you surprised at all by the results of this particular poll question?
Yeah, somewhat surprised. I don't know if it's because clients do it themselves. Yeah, so never done it, being an overall majority is definitely a surprise for me.
Makes sense.
Okay, so I look forward to reading the chat to know who does setup and if your clients do use QuickBooks Time.
Heck yeah.
The next question is, I understand you have never done it, but if you do think about setting up QuickBooks Time, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? The fields on your timesheets, who approves the employee's time, inviting your team with the right permissions, setting up a kiosk in your workplace to track time through it. If there are other things that I have missed, feel free to put that in the chat as well.
Yeah, that's a great question to ask too. I always am curious about people's thought processes and how people think is efficient, or what people think is efficient way to do things. And so, guys, we got about, I don't know, we're coming up on 20 seconds here to answer the poll question. And again, feedback is super important to us. If you have any comments about what it is that you do or what you think about or why, please feel free to put that in the Q&A so we can take a peek at that. We got a pretty big winner. So hopefully that's an indication for you that we're doing something right.
Oh wait, I don't actually see a response. Yes.
Yeah.
The timesheet fields, that is very interesting. Okay, so that is very good to know. We will start off our setup with that, just letting you decide what should appear on your timesheets. Amazing. Okay, so with that, let me move into the demo. To set the problem statement, what we heard from our customers who do use time is that there is no checklist of things available in QuickBooks Time to set up your company, like we do in payroll setup. You have to go figure things out from different settings to find out what works for you. Moreover, some tasks are redundant with payroll setup, things around adding a team member, inviting a team member, and setting up a few other policies. Those are the things that felt repetitive between payroll and time, and that is the journey we are on to remove that redundancy of tasks we ask you to do. So what we did was creating a consolidated setup checklist for payroll and time customers. As you might know, our premium and elite SKUs come with QuickBooks Time, but you can also access QuickBooks Time without payroll with just QBO. So this presentation is focused on customers with payroll premium and elite. Benefits include less redundancy of tasks and we give you an option to personalize your setup so that you can focus on those parts of setup that interest you the most. So all our new signups starting from December would start to see, or we are gradually ramping it up to 100%. So most of our customers would start seeing. By March 2024, we will be 100%. So any new sign up client who is signing up who wants to adopt QuickBooks Time would see the new setup experience. You can access it via the payroll in the left navigation or time overview on the left navigation. So there are two access points to access setup for QuickBooks Time. So you'll find more information in this blog post. With that, let me go into the demo itself. So because it is live in the product, I'm able to demo you using our product. So if you notice here in the left navigation, I chose payroll and I'm on the overview page. Earlier, we would set up your team and taxes to take care of your payroll. Now we have added two new groups of tasks for time tracking. So this is the first group of tasks with a lot of basic setup being done. And then in the second group of tasks, you'll be able to access some advanced tasks. Like I said, you'll be able to access the same tasks on the time overview as well. The good thing about using the time overview is that the free guided setup, in case you're stuck and you don't know how time setup is, you can go into this and set up a 45-minute, 60 minutes call, sorry, and that's already included in the plan. So this is definitely a good benefit. Other things that come with using time overview is some of the shortcuts that are more focused on time. So with that, let me start the setup. So you can set these up in any order, by the way. You don't need to finish the first or second group of tasks before you come here. So I have added a team member, which is the only requirement for me to start setting up time. So with that, I'll click on start and show you what the experience is like. Okay. So firstly, because this is the first touch point for QuickBooks Time, we explain the basics. We tell you what features you'll get in QuickBooks Time. You can also scan a QR code or send a link to your mobile number in case the employer wants to test out the workforce application, which is the main application for tracking time. Again, there's more help available before you get started with your setup. If this looks good, we'll click next. So the first thing that you all wanted, that is the very first step of time setup. So you'll see there are different selectable fields, and based on what you select, you'll see a preview of what that looks like. If you're not sure what any of these means, you can hover over and we say how we expect our customers to use some of these fields. So service items are things like the services you provide, classes are anything that you might want to track to analyze your payroll costs or your labor costs, like department, product lines, locations, and so on. You can have the employee select whether the time is billable or not, so that you know if that should be invoiced to the customer. There are also free form texts that they can put in. We have seen our customers use this creatively for reporting any injuries or telling which building they worked in and so on. So with that, I'll click next. Once the employer is happy on how a timesheet looks like, they click next and they tell us how they want to track time. So the recommended way of tracking time is the QuickBooks Workforce app. If you have, you can send an invite to your employees using our product, and then the employees can log in and start using time. You can also assign some more granular permissions that once they send in their timesheets, if they're allowed to edit their time or not. Finally, if you do want to not have a mobile device for tracking time, but an actual in-location device like a kiosk, you can click on this option. So I'll click on both to show you what that experience is like. You can learn more about QuickBooks Time Kiosk. With that, I click next. So I have added one employee. You need to enter their email address or phone number to be able to invite them. So I will choose to invite this employee, and immediately that employee would have an invite that gives them the link to access QuickBooks Workforce. This is the next step, which is setting up your kiosk. You can either use your the computer that you use to access QuickBooks for your kiosk device, or you could use another device like a tablet or an iPad. If you do use another device, there's an application called QuickBooks Time Kiosk, which lets you enter time seamlessly. So I won't go through that now, but this is a step that you need to complete using the whichever device you choose. I'll say continue. And then finally, this is the personalization step that lets you do some of the more advanced setups. So you can choose if your customers should have rules around lunches and breaks. You can assign team members to particular customers so that it's easier for them to choose their customer in their timesheet. You can select which managers approve whose time. You can add custom fields to your timesheets. And then lastly, if you're an elite customer, you can choose geofencing, which is an automation that as soon as your employee enters a worksite location, it starts tracking time. So you can set up the perimeters of your customer's location so that this feature can be enabled. So to maybe in the interest of time, I'm going to select two of these advanced tasks here and then show you where to access that from. Okay, so as you see, we didn't finish our kiosk setup, so that is marked as not done. The rest are already done in the first group. Now I'll go explore what advanced tasks I have. If you remember, I selected two advanced settings to set up, lunches and breaks and assigning team members to customers. So you can access that from the payroll overview. And like I said, all these tasks, whatever progress you make, everything would be accessible from time overview as well. So with that, let me set up lunches and breaks for my employees. So I can add a break rule, call it lunch hour, maybe set it to 45 minutes, make it automatic and click save. So, and you can choose which team members it applies to. You can, if you have multiple rules, you can choose which ones are active. So that is a very important feature. A lot of our customers seem to use it. So with that, I'll click close and go to my next advanced task. So this is done. So I'll go to assign team members to customers. So if you have a lot of customers, sometimes it's important to filter it. Make sure your employees see only those customers that they are supposed to see. So I have already added customers to this. I can either edit one of the customers I have from QBO, or I can add a new customer here. Sorry about that. So yeah, so maybe as this loads, I'll instead show you how to edit a customer. Yeah, so this customer Starby Cake is assigned to all. So I can choose, if I don't want to assign to all team members, I can say don't assign, and I can choose whichever employees I have. So I'm going to choose only one of my two employees and then click save. So like you see, there's a lot of advanced tasks that you can access as well. So with all these setup tasks, it's a very guided step on how to complete setup for QuickBooks Time. You can come back and edit any of your setup. Time overview is probably the place you would do that. And then there are a lot of shortcuts that you can use on an ongoing basis. So this, we hope, would make it very easy to track time for employees. so that there's no manual spreadsheets and manual timesheets that you need to do using pen and paper. So that's the end of my demo. I hope you liked it. Let us know your feedback through the chat. We would
Oh my gosh. Heck yes. Thank you. That was amazing. I am so excited. This looks so thorough. And I know that setup has been a pain point for folks, you know, so thank you so much for spending the time with us today. And I know we're short on time, but I do have one question for you. Can you just remind us, who is this currently available for?
So this is available to premium and elite customers who are signing up right now. And in the US, it will soon roll out to Canadian and UK customers as well. Currently, people who have the time product without payroll don't see it, but in March, by March, they should be able to see it as well.
Beautiful. Thank you again. Thank you so much for being here today. We really, really appreciate all of our presenters. So for those that have joined us from India, thank you. I know it's probably super late, so we really appreciate you being here. But that about wraps it up for our session today. I just want to end it with some final remarks around our resources, as I always do. Training and webinars, if you guys are interested in learning more and you won't need more CPE, please go to qbtrainingevents.com. Lots of great content there. We also have our Farm of the Future blog, if you're not familiar with that. Monthly updates, as well as articles that are written by folks with Intuit, outside of Intuit, all kinds of really great resources there for you, as well as your feedback into action. If you're interested in what we're doing with the feedback you guys are giving us, that'll tell you exactly what we're doing. So the more feedback we get from you guys, the more we're able to redirect what we need to fix, what we need to improve and enhance, and all that good stuff. So super important. I really appreciate everyone's presentation today. You guys did a great job. Be back next month. We'll be back next month. And so thank you again. And that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.